everybody. Good morning, my Managerholic family. Today is the day that we start the kitchen. So I have my white acrylic paint. It's matte. It's not semi-gloss or gloss. All I want to do is coat these walls. It's going to take me about, maybe 3 coats to get it the look that I want. So that way the wallpaper, it won't bleed through the wallpaper like it did in the front hallways. So I'm going to attempt to use that same wallpaper and hope it works out. So I'm going to get started painting. And I got a big sponge brush because I want to cover a lot of area. Trying not to get the floor too messy. Even though it's not going to show, I still do not, in my mind, if it's a messy floor, it's going to bother me. And I found one of my white bowls, my porcelain bowl, and it was cracked. So I didn't want to throw it away. I figured I'll use it for painting. Anything that I can use for miniatures, I will. Yeah, this covers a lot of area. Thank goodness. And notice that I'm not going all over the board. I'm just going straight up and down. Okay, see the top part is already painted, so I think I'm probably going to have to go over the bottom more than the top. I really should have just did the bottom. Just to make the coats even. Like, let me show you. So you see how this is painted, this is not. So I'm just going to hit the 2 bottom areas, and that way all of it will be white, and then I'll go over it again. Alright, so now that I've done that, it's going to take a while to dry, and then I'm going to go over it again and again until I get it smooth white with no runs or anything. I want it to look like a really nice white wall, so that way when I put the wallpaper on, it would not look like it's bleeding through. So to keep my paint moist in my paint brush, I simply just put one of these grocery bags, plastic grocery bags on it, holds the moisture in, and then just let it sit until I'm ready for it. So we got a while to go. What I have done was I went over the kitchen, painted it about 3 or 4 times, including the door area. And that way I'm going to cut the wallpaper, but I'm not going to paste it up there. This kitchen is going to be the last thing that I paste when it comes to wallpaper, because the wiring has to come through this part of the kitchen and this one. And I mean all of the wiring throughout the house is going to meet in those 2 spots. So I cannot put the wallpaper up until I'm completely done and figure out how I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to make you watch me cut the wallpaper, but I am going to flatten it and leave it that way until I get ready for this kitchen. But I am going to let you see me do the beams in the kitchen. Now my daughter has an apartment that she just got, and one side of her walls is brick and the other is beams, wood beams, and they are beautiful. So I'm going to try to get that done in the kitchen. So we're going to go ahead and get started on that this week, and possibly the lighting for the kitchen. I can go ahead and do the ceiling and the lighting, and then we'll move on to another room. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, I want to show you something real quick. I was searching around for a table that would look beautiful and complement this dining room. So I searched on eBay and I found a gorgeous table. Look at that. Oh my God, you talk about elegant, beautiful, perfect. I even got chairs to match, but the table is from China. But it's cute, so it wasn't too expensive and it matches. So it's definitely not an artisan piece. I wish it were, but it's not. It's still going to look good though. So I just wanted to show you the table for the dining room. This is really going to be a nice room. And the kitchen is going to complement. If it doesn't, I will rip it out and start over. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I was going to make these wood beams going this lengthwise, but I changed my mind. That's me. I want to go like this. I want to go maybe make about 4 of them lined up, and I'm going to try it like that. So I'm going to scratch that. So what I'm going to do, though, to be on the safe side is, normally I don't like the measuring. I like to eyeball it, but with this, I only have 2, so I'm limited on how much I can cut. So I'm going to get the ruler, and I'm going to measure it. Okay, so I got my ruler, and this is approximately 29 inches. So let's see where I mark this at. Exactly. Yep, 29 inches. So I'm going to mark it on all 4 sides, and then I'm going to cut 4 beams. And I'm going to let you see me do that. Let's move over to the desk. Okay, so what I want to do is get this out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 29 inches. Try to get it exactly right because, like I said, I'm limited on the amount of wood that I have. And I want it to be right, so I'm not guessing at anything. Okay, so I got 29. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut just to make sure I got the right mark. And I'm going to do this on all 4 sides. And when I cut, I kind of go over the edge on the opposite side just so I know where to pick up at. Okay, let's see if we can get our first cut, and then we can actually put this one up against the rest of them, and I don't have to do all the cutting on all 4 sides. Let's get this out the way. Get our first cut done. My little desk saw. And yes, I am definitely going to use protective equipment. So I'm going to put my protective glasses on, goggles as they call them. My gloves ready. I should have did this when I was cutting the towel, but I didn't because they were so small. The gloves would have been bulky and in the way. So. All right, let's go. It's gonna get a little noisy. Okay, I was hoping this wouldn't happen. This is too big for the little table saw. Alrighty, I'm back. Now, I have such a hard time cutting these. Usually, I'd have my equipment in the spot it's supposed to be in. Obviously, somebody touched my equipment and I can't find it, and I need it now. So I had to go out to the garage to finish cutting because I didn't have what I need. So that's just a lesson learned. Lock your tools up. Okay, so I got them cut, and I'm looking at the ends, and some of it needs to be sanded down. So I have my Dremel, little sander on the end, and I'm going to go ahead and even it out. Okay, so they're sanded down, and all I can do is hope it's a good fit. It feels good, so I'm going to get a paper sander and just go around the edges. I don't want to do it with this. I've been chopped it up. And I really love my tools. Sometimes you can't use tools, which is a bummer because it saves time. But another hard lesson learned. You can't always get what you want. So I'm going to sand this and go ahead and paint. I'm going to paint these black because my kitchen is going to be black and white with a little silver, maybe a touch of gold. But, you know, we'll see. You know me. If I don't like it, I'll change it. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to do the last one. And all I'm doing is taking the sanding block and getting the excess wood off the edges where it was sawed at. And then kind of smooth it out. So, now that's done. I'm going to paint it black. Alrighty then. I have my black matte paint, and I'm not even going to use a dish. I'm just going to stick the brush in there, paint the wood. And here we go. And it's going to, I can tell you now, it's going to take like 2 or 3 coats of paint. I would take it outside and spray paint it, but for one, it's a rainy day, and 2, I really don't want that spray paint look. This is going in the kitchen, so with the spray paint, you still have a bit of a sheen. Any way you look at it. If you use the satin, literally, if you spray this with satin black, you're still going to have more of a gloss or a sheen to it than you would if you would use acrylic. So that's why I'm doing the paint. And yeah, it's going to take 2 coats. It looks good though, but it's going to take 2 coats. And I'm not really worried about the end part, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because the end part, nobody's going to see. It's going to be against the wall, but do it anyway. So I got, what, 3 more of these to do. Get these done. Set them aside. Give them a second coat. And then I'll show you what it's looking like. I think that black and white kitchen is going to look really nice. And the lights that we made, the silver, yeah, it's going to be nice. Okay. I'm going to hold this like this. First one done. Yeah, it's gonna take 2 coats. Come back and touch it up. Moving on. Alright, so we have the beans painted black, and this is literally 2 coats. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to let it completely dry, and then I'm going to put one more coat. I'm going to cover it with a sealer and put it away along with the wallpaper and the lights. I just want to get everything ready for the kitchen because I'm working my way from the bottom up, but I'm not going to finish it until all the wiring is complete in the house, because the wiring have to go to the kitchen. Every wire in the house is going to have to lead to that kitchen. So I need to make sure it's covered and it can't be seen, so I cannot put that wallpaper up yet. And the ceiling, I may mess with the beams, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to set everything aside and wait and move to a different room. So once I have it sealed, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we are done with the beams for the kitchen, and they turned out wonderful. Look at this. See how nice it is? And it's matte, but it has just a little bit of a shimmer. But this one side on each one of them is flat, just straight flat. I coated it with Mod Podge, just the matte Mod Podge. So it gave it just a bit of a sheen, enhanced the color. I love it. This right here, again, is flat. So this is the part that's going to go on the ceiling. It's going to stick to it like that, and you'll be able to see the rest of them. Oh, it's going to look so nice. Okay, so that's it for now on dealing with the kitchen. So we're going to move on to something else. And we'll come back to the kitchen once we have the whole house wired. So it's going to be a minute for that. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. See you next time.